Well, guys, here she is in all her glory and completed form. Uh, yeah, came out pretty much exactly the way I wanted it to, I have to say. I'm very satisfied with this model. It had a few challenges. I'll get to I'll get to that in a moment here because you know me, I always keep it real, eh? And if you subscribe to my channel, you'll see my videos. I always keep it real. I mean, I'm not perfect. You know, if I talk about a vehicle and I say it's such and such a thing, well, hey, I'm not a plane expert. I'm not a train expert. But when it comes to, you know, old cars and trucks, I usually know what I'm talking about. So anyway, yeah, I finished it up last night. All I had left to do was a couple of things. I had to reattach one of the exhaust pipes. I had to attach the mirrors, which were a fucking pain in the ass. But anyway, I'll get to all that in a moment. So, yeah, so I got her here on my coffee table. And, oh, actually, before I give you the tour on this rig, I wanted to show you guys something hadn't shown you that I bought last summer, actually, real quick. And it's this right here. This vintage bus seat, probably from a school bus, 50s, 60s. Those speakers were my old man speakers. They're from the 80s. They're KEF, top of the line. They're supposedly sold, but anyway. And yeah, it's in terrific condition. There's actually a neat story behind that. But I pretty much got it for like 20 bucks because I made a trade with this really nice girl who was selling it, you know. Okay, so back to the cab over COE Ford here, the truck with no year. Now, by the way, just a little bit of history for you guys. These trucks, amazingly, had some of the longest production without ever being altered. They were first built in 1957, and at the same time, for I think only 2 or 3 years, Mack also had the same body, which was made by which had the same cab, which was made by the Budd Company, except that the only difference really is that Mack had more of a stainless trim here on the front across the headlights, and there were 4 headlights. Let me just let's move her around a bit here. Now these trucks, these models, you got to be really careful with them. Even though I use a really good quality glue, they can come apart easily. Now I'm just gonna give me a second. I'm gonna adjust this hood here. You could the cab. You can see it's uneven with the grill. This is typical though. That's probably because I didn't assemble the frame the most leveled. And you know, oh, I have to point out what's really cool about this truck. See, I always painted my cars and trucks. Well, for those of you not familiar with my first video, actually this is the first truck I build since I built any model since the 90s. I stopped doing that for many years, you know. And what's really cool about this truck is that the color is an Automotive Paint. I always used to use Automotive Paint, that's what I wanted to say. And I would always buy them at Canadian Tire, those little, you know, spray paint cans that were touch-up paints. And, you know, the funny thing about this is when I went to go buy other, you know, base paints like the black and, you know, the red, I went to the automotive section, and lo and hold to my surprise, there was practically no selection in those you know, those car paints. And you know, in 2006 and earlier, or sorry, you know, even yeah, in those years, you had a choice of incredible choice of paints for cars and trucks from like the 70s and even 80s of different makes. And I think this color was from a Ford paint from like 77 to 81 or something like that. So it's definitely a beautiful old school blue. And let's see here. We're gonna go nice and smoothly. And the front wheels aren't straight. Yeah, it's really cool. Now in the model, these wheels are the stock wheels, but they're chromed. But you see, the thing is that I find the only time you ever saw these types of Ford with chrome wheels was if there were fire trucks, and they were not these type. They were more like you know, heavy long haul truck types that had those wheels. So I painted them black, and we'll just go underneath here. Yeah, got your chrome tanks. Got your mud flaps, which I thought about painting the Ford emblem there, but meh. I put enough time on this. Took me just over 2 weeks to build this. Now, what sucks here is that these stakes here, it was hard to put some of them in because at the bottom of all of them, there's these, I don't know, I guess you call them pins, you know, or struts or something, and you have to sort of snap them in. But you see, some of them were so hard to snap in. Like this one here, you can see it's crooked because of the fact that I broke the goddamn thing in half almost, trying to put too much pressure for it to go into the slot. So you can see there's an unevenness there, you know. And anyway, so let's show you the inside the cab here. Give me a second. So there's your big motor there. I think it was a gas motor. I think it was a 428. There's a few pieces missing. I mean, and I'll explain that right now. You see, it's because of the fact that the fucking cab drove me nuts. The cab, when it's closed, it doesn't close completely. Look, see how unleveled it is with the bed? I don't know if you can see it, but if you can see from inside there, but it does not close completely. And that really drove me nuts. And then I looked at the fucking model built that was on the box, and I'm like, what the hell? And I could tell that also the cab on that model that was built for the photos on the box also was a bit off, you know. So yeah, I messed around a lot with the motor and the air cleaner, and even the frame. I had one of the brackets was not. Shit, you see it's crooked again. One of the brackets was not correct. Anyway, that's not a big deal. And so that was a real pain in the ass, and I find that's a pretty bad flaw from AMT. They've always made high quality models. I mean, I know nothing's perfect, but that was, to me, a big nay-nay, you know. And also what drove me crazy, I'm going to flip this around to show you here. See, it doesn't look bad, the cab, when you look at certain angles, but you see, if I look at it from the side like this, it's not even. Anyway, you gotta accept it, you know. Okay, so you got these barrels here. Take those off. Pretty neat, actually. There was even a broom that was, it was even a little broom, little push broom, you know, that was included, but I didn't bother putting it in. They included so many other parts too I didn't bother with. You even had a shorter frame, actually, if you wanted to make a tractor, which I thought was really cool. So, you know, I'm keeping all these extra parts, basically. So, we'll turn it around carefully, very carefully. Alright. I thought it was neat that on the exhausts, they included these chrome tips. Now, my other setback in terms of production on this, which was a real big pain in the ass, was the wheels. And I never seen a kit in my life where, now you see, if you look at the hub of the wheel, it looks normal, you know. It looks normal, but as a matter of fact, how should I explain this? As for the outer wheel itself, there's nothing really holding it inside all around. It's really this black hub here is really, there's a pointed center, and it glues to the center inside of the rim here, and it's a fucking joke, really. So it took a lot of glue, a lot of attempts to get the wheels to be glued. And the back ones were a bit better because it was, you know, it was a dually, but even at that, didn't impress me at all, seriously. And I have another kit that I'm going to be building soon of a white Freightliner. So I hope, and unfortunately I got a feeling the wheels are going to be like that as well. So I'll put this back here. one of the little things, little details that was fun to do about this Ford here, the auxiliary lights and the excuse me, I have to sit down here. The auxiliary lights and the marker lights. I used acrylic paint for that because since I am an artist and I do paintings, see, I used the same paint on that Peterbilt mixed in with a tiny bit of black to get the right correct type of orange for all these marker lights, since I didn't have any enamel paint. These ones were annoying to fit because there was no holes or anything, so yeah, again, I had to reglue. The foil came out really nice. I took a bit of black, of course, to try to do the detailing of the Ford script here as nicely as I could. And yeah, overall it was just a great model, lots of fun, and I'm really satisfied with it. I hope you enjoyed looking at this, and it's my pleasure obviously to show you guys this truck. And there will be more. There will be more. There will be more. It reminds me of the disco song. Hey, mo, mo, mo. How do you like it? How do you like it? Mo, mo, mo. How do you like it? How do you like it? Mo, mo, mo. Anyway, if you don't like disco, I guess I'll stop singing. And yeah, that's about it. We'll put our barrels here, possibly filled with toxic PCBs or other waste. Of course, I'm just kidding. And yeah, these are all in 2 pieces, by the way. Oh yeah, I didn't really show the cab, by the way. Almost finished, but yeah, one of the things I want to do about these trucks is I wanted to make it look, you know, older than it was. Not just by the color, but because most of these trucks I've seen that are still in service, they usually only have a black steering wheel. But like so many vehicles that were older, you know, 70s and 60s, the steering wheels were usually white. So I wanted to do a white, or I should say off-white steering wheel. And yeah, that's pretty much it, man. I don't think I've missed anything else. And yeah, anyway, again, thanks for looking, and you know, feel free to comment. And by the way, if you're a professional modeler and you know you're gonna be a smartass, don't even fucking bother, man. Okay? Because I'm not a professional modeler. All right. This is the first model I built since the 90s, and you know, I'm aware that it's got flaws. And I didn't set out here to fucking build a show truck here. This was for fun. I wanted it to be as cool as possible, and that's about it. So anyway, y'all take it easy. Bye bye.